A moon is beautiful in all her phases. This is basically the slogan of a new Arttitude Cosmetics Midnight Muse Palette, and actually the whole collection, which will be launched on 30th January on their website. Big thanks to the brand for sending this to me. And today we will be checking everything about this palette, about this nice 16 shade palette with very specific shades, which we will touch together. We will do 3 makeup looks together. This one will be available as a short. My name is Val. If you're interested to see what we can create and how it performs, let's begin. So I am back to you, and today we are starting another review. I'm not sure if I will have enough time because, well, it's really quite a lot of effort and a lot of info and a lot of things that I'm supposed to do and to go through and to edit later as well, which I'm not sure I will be able to do in the proper time. But here we have the Midnight Muse by Arttitude Cosmetics, and we are going to do some stuff with it. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be quite good, but I want to do something not usual, let's say. So today I will start with intergalactic something, like moons stuff. And here is the palette for you. I see it as the neutral with a bit of color, so it's quite wearable in my opinion, and it has 4 neutral shades and 4 mattes that are more colorful. In couples, I see them in couples. So pink goes with the burgundy and the lilac goes with the dark purple. And they are just, you know, kind of nice together. So today we're doing something in the direction of the purple, and I'm not sure how it's gonna turn out, but let's try it anyway. And I will begin with the shade Stone all over my lid. I already have a Bisque by Mario, but yeah, I think it will be good to have this as a base. It's quite dusty in the pan, but it does not actually become very dusty on the eye. Then I will take a smaller brush, a tiny brush, to make the outline with the shade Eclipse. I'm starting from the inner corner, going up, and it's kind of half moon from both sides that will create me a shape that I want. And yeah, so I'm just outlining that, and once I'm done with the outlining, also on the bottom lid, don't forget the bottom lid, we will have a bit of a shape in there, just a little bit, nothing too crazy. And once I'm done with that, I can take a pencil brush and start filling the color in. So the same Eclipse color I will just fill in to, I don't know, maybe almost till the end, but not exactly. And this will be a nice base because I think they will also blend nicely with the other color next. So once I'm happy with the outlining and how it stretches the color outwards, I think it's really good looking right now. It works nicely. I will go to the shade Nova. It will be my outer edge shade, and I'm going to blend slightly outwards towards the brow, towards the temples, and in the inner side as well. Not too much, not too little. It's just for the shade to be present. They are really soft and kind of buttery mattes. They seem to work really nicely, and they are not like hella pigmented. It's not direct pigment or anything, so you can safely dive into it and blend around. It will not, well, it's not getting stuck on Mario, but it may get stuck on the other bases, but yeah. That's what we're dealing with. Once I'm happy with the shade Nova, I think I will go into the shade Moon to outline the edging. So I want to give the edges more, and I'm gonna do that with a white shade. Once the white is set into all the open areas by the edge, we can go into the actual shimmers. So first of all, I want to show you the shade Muse. This is the first one I tried. I'm not gonna keep it on my eyelid because it just feels wrong and too dark in this scenario, but I'm going to show you that shade. Muse is a multi-chrome from green to purple blue. And on my finger you can see at least 3 of the shades directly, and this will just, yeah, this just shows how it is. You can layer it up. It layers on itself normally, so it's very good looking. It's just that I decided it's not gonna fit it into here, and I will wipe it off later. But anyway, I think I will go next into the shade Lunar. and it will be my center shade as well as my opening to the bottom lid shade, so I just can have it there. And I also wiped slightly around the edges where I placed the white. And final one, I think I will take the shade Crescent, and it's just gonna be outlining around, like adding some stars to the dark sky. So that's the idea. And once I wiped the shade off, I went into the shade Moonlight. It's a holographic, very pretty but very small, smooth one, and I'm just gonna place it instead of the Muse and do the same stuff with the Lunar. And at this stage I think I only need a liner just to outline a bit the eye, and I will come back to you with the finished results. So this is the look, and I am super happy with everything so far. It worked very nicely. It's so soft and smooth. It's blendable, but at the same time you can pack it, and it just works. It's mostly eyeshadow that I've been using as the dark shades here. The one of the pigments are also specified here on the back. One of the pigments is beige, so I didn't really care because it's beige, so like whatever. It doesn't really matter in this scenario, but yeah, it's really helpful to see what is what, but mostly I feel like they are eyeshadow and they will not give any troubles. So the application itself was really nice, the overall blendability was really nice. I think I managed to kind of get the proper blending. I'm having a bit of double thoughts about how I blended everything, but overall I'm actually pretty happy with everything, and the graphic part turned out really good without anything additionally. Like I didn't have to carve it, I did not have to do anything separately. It's just working with the brush and the shadow, and it's one of the best options for me as well and in general. So that is pretty good, like surprisingly good. I am into it. Here I have almost empty eye, the one that I wiped with a wet wipe, and I applied the shade Moonlight onto it. Moonlight is a marble type shade, and it's a holographic base with a bit of multi-chroming sparkles, and it looks like a moon. So I think that was intentional, and I am really into well thought palettes like this, and this shade is really pretty, but it's mostly very, very thin, very smooth holographic shade. You will almost not see it. It mostly appears as silver from afar, but when you're getting up close you can see the holographic itself, and it's just pretty. It's not big, it's not right in your face, but when you are looking at yourself in a hand mirror, it's very pretty. Then I have the shade Lunar, which is a silver without a base, I believe, but it's so bright. Here it is in this little cutouts of my inner corner, and it's so bright, it's sparkly, it's really good looking, and I'm enjoying it as well. And the last shade that we touched is a Crescent, and it's all over my outside perimeter of the eye pretty much, and it's sparkling like crazy. I was thinking about the geode amethyst kind of thing, you know, those pretty stones with the outlines, and I am thinking about that all the time in this makeup look as well, because it's just so sparkling in these outside areas, and it's just does something for me. So this graphic makeup look was really interesting to create, and I think it looks really nice. Something unusual, I would say, something more artistic in this case, and I am loving it so far. In some situations the shades look better for the graphic makeup, in some situations it's better for the regular blending. We still need to test the regular blending as usual, but this was a good start, and it's not creasing so far, it's not oily, like none of the shades actually emollient too much, and all of them seem to be quite stable in these terms. Like the formula itself seems quite stable, very soft mattes and very pigmented but not overly dry or overly oily shimmers. This is what I'm getting right now from the palette. It's my first palette from Arttitude, and I am pretty impressed, honestly. So this looks good, this works good, and I am happy. Now, once we are done talking about this crescent moon kind of scenario, let's talk about what else do I have on my face. I have a stick foundation by Shea Glam in the shade Porcelain. It's very light, it looks darker in the stick than it is going onto the face, and I am liking the coverage. It's quite matte, but it's very smooth and even in the coverage, so that's a nice thing. That's what we enjoy. Sephora contour stick is the same way. Then I'm actually using the shade Nars Affogato. So I opened the Affogato one to see. It's a slightly more pink and a bit lighter than the vanilla I used to use. I'm still using vanilla too, so let me just show you. This is vanilla and it's a bit more neutral. This one is a bit more pink. You can see there's a slight variation. They both fit me nicely, but this one of course is much closer match in general, and I honestly just enjoy both of them. One is 125 and the other one is light 2. Light 125 and light 2, so they're very close to each other. I believe they're both kind of the neutrals. So yeah, if you are like tone like me, both of them actually may work. One is just a bit darker, one is just a bit lighter, but both are really good. I'm just loving this concealer. It's iconic at this point. Sephora contour stick the same way as usual. Then I have Kaleida's Dream Walk because I have something more of a cool tone going on. The combination of silver and purple are more cool toned, so I thought that pink blush, like the cool tone pink blush, will work wonders, and I think it looks good. Then I have Fenty Beauty Lavender Lover. It's also giving the silver line when you are looking straight and the light hits from the side, but when it hits from the front you can see how it changes, and this is a somewhat purplish lavender blue. This is the shade inside, and I'm just enjoying it as well. I think it fits here, even though the How Many Carats would also fit, but I wanted something more fancy. Then for the lips, first of all, I used this 100% Dote on Mood All Cover Lip Base. This is just a silicone primer kind of for the liquid lipsticks mostly. It kind of works with other lipsticks too, but I prefer it for like liquid lipsticks. So the story behind this is that I wanted a MAC lip erase, but it's only available in Germany in one store offline in northwest Germany. And going there for 3.5 hours one way just to get myself a lip product from MAC is kind of ridiculous. I was waiting for it to come online, but I doubt it will come online. So I'm not sure if I will be able to ever get it. And in the meantime, I just got this lip cover base in 2 shades. I have a vanilla and light gray or something like that. And this one works as a primer rather than actual lip eraser, so it's a base for me. It's going on really smoothly. It has a lot of silicones in it by the feeling of it, so it covers the lips in the soft velvety texture. It does not remove too much of a color, but this texture actually fills the lips in, and it feels really nice. It's not too drying, but it can be slightly drying. It feels like something is in there. Nothing bad, I mean, but just... So I'm just applying it a bit, then I'm rubbing the lips with a finger just to distribute it a bit better, and on top of that anything glides really nicely. So I've been enjoying this stuff, and I'm not sure about the properties, if it changes the properties of lip products, if they're more stable or less stable. I cannot contribute to that unfortunately right now, as I have no knowledge of that, but it glides on smoothly and it looks more smooth than it was originally. So Endless Cacao, as usual, one of my favorite pencils ever. I already have a second one, don't ever doubt about that. So Endless Cacao, I have no idea what to do if it will be discontinued. And I have Mercury Wave by Kaleida's as my lip today. It's more of a also purplish, as you can see. It's not exactly the same purple as on my eyes, but I thought that like monochrome with a silver, like just 2 colors are good enough. I have more of course, but this is what we're dealing with. And this is Mercury Wave. Very comfortable lipstick. Just slightly drying with time, but generally very comfortable. And I do enjoy these Kaleida's lippies. Mercury Wave is a very interesting shade in itself, and I thought that it's gonna look good here. That's the thought behind it. So yeah, this is all I have for now. This is what I am dealing with. Maybe you are enjoying it too, maybe not. Just let me know in the comments. In the meantime, I also dyed my hair slightly with this moon silver, metallic moon silver, because I needed to get rid of the orange line here, so I covered it with the metallic moon silver. It cancelled out the yellow, and now I have more or less even, like a shadow root and then lighter shade, and then I have this silver which will go away with time, and I will be left with something beige blonde, maybe. Hope so. It's just my own experimenting with my own hair. I will be experimenting maybe with the length, but not with the roots anymore. In the meantime, let's get more information about what we're dealing with in this palette, and I will see you soon in the new makeup. So I am back, and we are going to be taking our Midnight Moonlight Muse to the next level, so to say. I'm going to be doing some pretty much a smoky with a couple shades, and let's begin right away. So I think I fucked up a bit of the Mario application, so that's why I'm taking the shade Stone and just applying it all over the lid. It allows me to have a better blending area, and I think it should work this way. So after the Stone applied, we can go directly into the shade Solace, and this will be the first shade that I'm going to use for outlining of the smoky eye. You can of course use the Stone or Halo into the as a transition shade, because yeah, that will definitely work. They are more of a skin tone, but for my skin tone, I mean, you can use them as a transition, but that's not necessary. With pink, it's also okay. Then I'm going directly into the shade Void, and I'm applying it to the next level, so the crease itself, and kind of bringing it closer to the edge. I'm also going to actually go over everything with this shade, so that way I can have it like a base already. And don't forget the lower lid, of course, so it's everywhere. Then I will shortly dip into the shade Meteorite, to actually apply it to the lash line and slightly towards the brow. I'm not applying it till the very end. I'm stopping somewhere on the visible eyelid, basically. It doesn't matter this much, but for the like accurate blending of the smoky shades, when you have only the mattes, this will be the way to go. So you stop somewhere in the middle of your moving lid and on the bottom line as well, and then you go with the shade Void again, covering them both together, mixing them both together, kind of darkening the void, which sounds ridiculous, but anyway, darkening the void is the goal here. And once it's done, we can pretty much be ready for our shimmers. So I'm taking the shade Muse and Phases just to see which one fits better into this makeup look. And I'm starting to think that I actually want to go with the shade Muse. We ditched it last time, but this time I think it may actually work nicely with this combination. And let's just do it. I'm applying it with my finger all over the moving lid. I'm not going higher than that. It's enough to have it this way, and I think that will do. Then I'm taking the shade Phases. I'm gonna dip it, I'm gonna tap it onto the center, so just the center. I'm also bringing whatever is left to my lower lid. It doesn't matter right now, it will be covered with different shade, but it just allows to kind of not waste the shade that's left on the finger. This is the way I'm working with the stuff. And I'm also going to bring it to the inner corner. But first I want to dip maybe into the shade Astral. Astral is like a rose gold shade, more rose than gold, to be honest, but still. And I'm gonna apply it all over the bottom lid. It matches the pink Solace here perfectly. If you want to have like a monochromatic sparkle on the base, this is the perfect combination. And then I'm going to the shade Phases with the silicone brush to put it into the inner corner. I may duplicate that a couple times just because I want it to be very bright in the inner corner. And I'm also taking just a fluffy brush to distribute the shades around a bit better. Then I will take the black gel liner and I'm going to outline my eye completely, so the top lid and bottom lid. Once it's outlined, I will go back to the shade Void and just with a small brush tap it on top of the black liner. This is a very good hack if you want to have like if you don't have the liner of the shade that matches, but you still want to have it matching the makeup look, and you can just apply the gel black liner, and while it's still wet, you tap the shade from the palette, from your makeup look, on top of it. And in most scenarios it actually works, and the gel liner becomes a bit more darkened version of the shade that you applied. But that's about it. Yeah, that's the idea behind this makeup. It's very simple this time, and I think I just need to recreate the other eye and I will be good to go with the things. And I will come back to you once I'm done with everything. So that's the look. I'm pretty happy with everything. It looks awesome. It was working really good. I am really enjoying the work of mattes here. They are going like semi-transparent as a first layer, like from the beginning. You layer them down and they blend into nothing. They're very semi-transparent first, but they're buildable, which is also nice. Not everything has to be a boom pigment right into your face. So yeah, this has to be somewhere, right? Some eyeshadow palettes have to be more of an eyeshadow palette rather than a pigment, like pure pigment boom. And this is exactly what it is. So this is very soft, it's very buildable, and you can work with that nicely. The only problem so far that I see is that you don't really have a universal darkening shade, because the brown, the aubergine, and the purple blue color, they're all kind of, to me, on the same level. Like you have three distinctive color stories, and each shade is darkening for that story instead of actually working all together. So I tried to connect them all together kind of in this look, because we also have a beige one, and we have a pink, and we have a bit of a purple, and like you have this here, and I tried to connect them here as well, but of course the multichrome that I used here is overpowering everything. If I would have left it in the mattes, then of course we could have seen more. But yeah, these shades to me are on the same level of depth. So they are, yeah, making it distinctive color stories rather than one big story. But that's okay, that's fine in this regards. I'm enjoying the work so far. I'm enjoying how everything kind of gets together, how it just blends and stays and etc. And the multichrome is really good multichrome. It's very smooth. It's very stable, which is also good. Sometimes I prefer to work with more stable but less like boom kind of shades with the shimmers, because stability is actually better in majority of cases. Yeah, it's like you need something to rely on, right? And these shades are stable. They are not emollient, they are not super dry, they're somewhere in the middle, almost like a golden middle, and you can still see the shifts. So the multichrome is very smooth. We also have the shade Phases. It's very typical blue to pink, and like it's not something really crazy. We saw a lot of shades like this in the Gloss Gods palette that I've been doing 12 makeup looks with, or 11 makeup looks with. And Phases is also very sparkly. You can see it in the center of my eye. It's very sparkly. I love how sparkly it is. It's very easy to distribute. It's easy to work with. So it can be applied with both brush and the silicone brush and the finger. It's all just, it's nice. It's nice to work with. It's nice to work with something that works. And we also tried the shade Astral. It's kind of duochroming here as well, but it's not that obvious, and mostly it's just a golden, like rose gold, more rose than gold, of course, sparkle. But it has nice sparkling properties, and I'm generally enjoying this shade as well. We have maybe 2 or 3 left that we didn't touch yet. The gray one, most likely. The 2 golds we also have. We have a greenish gold here, and we have this gold here. I'm not sure how I will combine them both. Probably one will go to the bottom lid, one to the top, but we will see. We have only basically the neutral palette, the neutral color arrangement here left, and that's what I'm going to use. And I will try to like just build them in somehow. But yes, I'm enjoying it. Maybe this pink is not my favorite color, but it kind of looks great as well, and I don't see anything wrong with these shades. Its blendability is really good, and the shimmers are also very good so far. Yeah, that's the impression for the second look, and we have one more to go just to see how everything there, and maybe I will try to do something with all of them as well, just like, you know, trying to blend or combine in one look different properties of different shades. I don't know, I'm not sure yet. I like to go with the flow. However I feel in that day, I will go like that. But now, that's what I have, and that's what we're dealing with. What else do I have on my face? As a foundation today, I used the Smashbox Studio Skin Full Coverage. It's a very nice matte formula, but very bad shade for me. It's not actually, like, it's supposed to be 05 Fair Cool, but it's not 05. It's much darker. That's why I used MAC Studio Face and Body Foundation as my mixing media. First of all, this is very, very full coverage and thick, but because the shade is off, I need something to make it better. So I had to mix them together to lighten the Smashbox, and I wish they had my shade in this foundation. It's really good. The same story I have actually with the Estee Lauder, the double wear. I have double wear full coverage kind of thing, and it also is very dark for me, despite being advertised or like set for the light skin. It's not. But okay. Nars Affogato is the shade of concealer today. Sephora contour stick as usual. Then I have Rosé in Brunch by Danessa Myricks. I decided that I have this pinkish, warmer pink kind of situation outside, and I have rose gold on the bottom lid, so I will match the rest of my makeup to my bottom lid because I want the other things to stand out. The top lid is one thing that I want to stand out, and it's like a hidden treasure kind of situation because I have hooded eyes, like half hooded, they're more deep set, but still when I'm looking straight you almost don't see my eyelid. And because of that, I want the effect of a hidden treasure, and I want this to be different than the rest of my makeup. The rest of my makeup actually around matches, so it's like pinkish burgundy kind of in that direction. But yep, so Rosé in Brunch is to match that vibe. I like this shade a lot, one of my favorites. As I said, to match it more to the rose gold, I used the Pink Eyes by Fenty as my highlighter today because yeah, it just gives this pinkish glow. I like the shade. Oh, it's a nice one. If you wanted something, maybe it's time. Then I have this shade, actually it's Longwear Eye Pencil. It's waterproof eye pencil in the shade Burgundy. I kind of didn't read that it's eye pencil, but to be honest, it doesn't really matter as well. I applied it to my lips as the liner, so it will hold better because it's waterproof. And even though that's advertised for eyes, just we don't care about that here. The application can be anything. So Burgundy shade I'm applying all over, and I'm also covering the inner corners of my lips. And then on top of that, I added the Rose Fire by Kaleidos to achieve this petal, kind of rose petal look. I'm really enjoying this combo. Like, this is just looking so good. You have slightly darkened corners. It makes tons of differences. It's just, I recommend to try with anything. So the lipstick on top can be anything, but as long as you're using a bit darker shade of lip liner and then a bit lighter shade of lipstick, try it out, give it a go. So that's so far it. I think I don't have anything else. It might be not the best for me right now as a shade, but I don't care, I like it anyway. It looks good to me. So that's so far it, I think, and we will see each other in the next look, probably tomorrow. So we are here again, and I am in the mood for something neutral. As I said, we are going to do something neutral because this palette allows to do that, and it's the last kind of color schema that there is in this palette. And let's just begin. I will take the shade Halo with the semi-flat brush and apply it to the first part of the eye up till the center, maybe a bit more, so that I can have the gray stretched in there. Then I will go into the shade Meteorite and just gonna outline the browns and set the future shape and you know all that stuff, so that I can have my outlining of the eye pretty much ready for everything and anything. It's pretty neutral, it's gonna be very simple as a makeup look. Next, I'm gonna blend the stuff here and there and go into the shade Stone, because brown is like it's best just blended with beige in this scenario. They are in one hue, I would say. So there's beige and the meteorite, and I'm blending it outwards, out under the brow and just, you know, around the eye, so that it's really a simple and very effective kind of blendable makeup look. Then I'm going to go back to the meteorite with the more dense brush, because I need to outline it a bit better. So with the fluffy brush you can blend it into nothing. You can see how blendable the shades are, but I need a bit of a packing, and packing actions is usually done either with a pencil brush or a flat brush, so that you can pack the color and only blend out the edges. You don't have to be very efficient in this, but yeah, I would recommend usually to only blend the edges of the eyeshadow, and so that the color can stay in. And once I'm more or less happy with blending, I think the only thing left is to add a bit of white into the inner corner. Inner corner outlining in white is looking great, and the white is called Moon, just so you know. And at this stage I'm enjoying it, and I think it looks really good so far, and we probably can go into our shimmers. As far as it's neutral, I'm not gonna invent anything, not inventing the wheel in this scenario, but let's go into the shade Celestial. Celestial is one of the two shades that's left for us that we need to touch still. One is more gold, one is more green, and they have different textures. So the Celestial is more smooth. I don't think it's duochroming or anything, but it's metallic, and it's very nicely glide onto the eye. I'm applying it with a finger, and then I'm taking the flat brush and just blending the edges of the shade, so that I can have it a bit more nice looking there. And now I'm thinking where to place the zenith. Let me just show you how they are compared together, because I applied it into the center of the eye and I don't see much of a difference between them, to be honest. But I know that they are different because I've swatched them before. And as you can see, the Celestial is smooth and golden beige, and Zenith is greenish and sparkle. So they're both metallic, but one is a bit more green and one is a bit more gold. And I think I will go with the Zenith into the center of the eye for the sparkling effect. Also, it's the one that goes under the brow. And I'm also going to bring it to the lower lid with the silicone brush, so that I can have it there and it will just look good. From here, I think I only need a liner. I am thinking about the brown liner, but I'm not sure about that until like completely. I may also add something more graphic into this look, but also I'm not sure about that yet. In any case, I will have to do the second eye and come back to you with the finished result. So this is the look, and I am really happy about it. I think it's one of the nicest nude makeup looks that I've ever done. If you also have like deep set eye, just like mine, you may try this combination of shapes, because you have a very prominent outline of whites around the area, and then you have darkening in these areas that go under the bottom lid. And when you are outlining the bottom lid with the light on top, so you have the light shape and then you have a darkening, it kind of moves your eyes forward. So I think it kind of opens the eyes a bit more visually, and I think it looks great. So this shape, this combination of things, the nude makeup look in general, in such a way, I think it really complements my eye shape and people who have the same eye shape as me. Because yeah, the lighting always brings things forward and the darkening always brings things back. If we do the halo eye, for example, or a smoky eye, then you are bringing things inwards. And when you're doing this kind of shapes, you are bringing it forward. This is just how lights and darkening work, and this is just what I found for myself. I'm not a makeup artist, and I'm just experimenting with things, and I think this one looks good. So in terms of the eyeshadow themselves, I think they behaved really nicely. The blendability is amazing, the colors themselves are very neutral. They're not exactly cool, maybe for warm undertones they will be cool, but for me they are neutral and they blend amazingly. So the gray one and white one are achromatic colors, so they don't really belong to warm or cool or anything. They can be matched with anything and everything. And with the gray, I think it also was interesting. Maybe not my favorite pairing because the gray looks so much more on the cool side, and brown kind of always looks on the warmer side compared to the shade of gray. And we kind of fixed it with the gold on top. So both of the shimmers are looking really nice. They are not trying to escape or anything, so far at least. So I don't really have any problems with creasing or stuff like that. I don't have problems with the crust either. So even if you apply quite a lot of that shade, it doesn't really create a crust, but it has a nice metallic sheen to it. So I'm just really generally happy about everything and how it looks and how it works and how it blended, and like this just is great. And the palette is quite interesting because it allows the nude shades and it allows the more colorful purple, pink looks. More about that in the final thoughts, but for now I think that really worked amazingly, and I'm happy with the work itself. I'm happy with the shades themselves. So all of that just combined together, this just works together, and I enjoy it. Just look at that. Looks good. I think so. So on this note, I'm done with the eyeshadow for now. I will need one more makeup look to get the understanding better and maybe to rate it a bit somewhere, because I have like kind of a gradation of brands and their formulas, and this one is actually close to Nomad, but might be even more interesting in terms of shimmers. So that I said what I said. Let's discuss further down the road of this video. But for now, what else do I have in my face? Today I'm on concealers mostly. Kevyn Aucoin's Sensual Skin Enhancer and Juicy Concealer and NARS Concealer and Affogato. Affogato right now matches me better because I'm not tanned at all and it's still winter. Then I have Sephora Contour Stick the same way, and Anastasia Beverly Hills in the shade Latte, one of the older shades. I do enjoy this kind of neutral shades. It's a bit more warm on me, but generally I would say it's a neutral one. And Latte and Soft Rose are the only two from ABH that I have. I despise this packaging, but I like the shade. As a highlighter today, I have Rodeo Drive by Ofra. A bit of gold. I actually thought that I want something like this, like the shimmer on the eyelid itself, but decided to go with just the gold because I will explain further my thoughts. Then I have Makeup Forever Endless Cacao as my lip pencil and Buffiest by MAC as the lip color. This is a wonderful shade of brown, and this shade I actually tried to match to my contact lenses. And the whole scenario is in the way that I have cooler hair right now that matches the shimmers. Then we have brown shade here and brown in the eyes. And I tried to kind of get everything. So I'm cool toned, right? My hair is cool toned, but I have warm eyes and I wanted my face to be a bit warmer too. So I can have like a contrast of the cooler tones with the warmer tones, and it just, I think it's still harmonized together at the end. I'm enjoying this look a lot. Like I did not expect to enjoy this look a lot, but this is where we are. And this were all the shades that we've touched. So the only thing that I didn't do is basically use this shade as the main somewhere in some makeup look. It was only the secondary shade. I always try to think about it like a design in terms of the primary and the secondary colors that I'm using in the makeup look. And I tried not to overdo it with the shades themselves. That way it's more harmonious in my opinion. So the 3 is the maximum I would use. Like 3 shimmers probably. I sometimes do more, especially if the palette allows that. But typically when I'm building my looks, I'm trying to go by like 3 something. So the mattes should be in the range of 3. So the most standing out colors, for example. The shades in between are not really counted, only the most standing out colors. And with the shimmers, I also think about the primary one and a couple secondary ones, maybe one secondary, so it's good enough in such a way. So yeah, that's just how I'm trying to approach this kind of thing, because without any structure it would have been a chaos, and I'm not a fan of chaos that much. So that's probably it so far. I also wanted to show you these earrings. It's Arcane Vines by Punk Youth. I bought them all. That's not sponsored or anything. I'm just showing you what I enjoy lately. And these are the last pair I received from the brand before my no-buy. And I'm just really into how this all looks, and I like the dangling. Like I haven't had like earrings that are not studs for years, maybe for over a decade, maybe for a couple decades even, because yeah, it was very hard for me to change something in myself. So this is a good change, and I'm enjoying these earrings, and if you want something like that, you can find it where I said. So I hope you also enjoyed everything so far. What do you think about the makeup? Maybe you have already some thoughts. I'm in a bit of a problem with the timing, because the releases are coming really fast. There are quite few brands putting the release onto the same date, and I think it's very weird. I think they need at least like some calendar to match things, and because people cannot buy multiple things at the same time usually, and maybe you want something more, you have to decide. Like in general, you have to decide what you want when you're buying things, and you cannot physically get everything that you want. So Day Signature is also coming with a new palette. They already showed it. It's Tuesday, it was Monday 26. So it's over midnight already, so it's 27th technically, but it doesn't matter. It's not a new day until I slept. So yeah, I will have a bit of a hard time this couple weeks, but then it will be fine. So hopefully you will stay with me, and we will get into the final thoughts about this palette, but you may already guess what I'm going to say. But I will gather all the information and all of the stuff that I want to tell you, so stay with me, and onto the next look. This is the lavender chocolate makeup that I came up with eventually. I really love how it looks, actually. I'm just super happy with everything and how it looks. The past couple makeup looks were just that girl to me, and I'm enjoying it to the maximum. I feel like it just fits, it just looks good, it wears good as well, and I am enjoying life right now, basically. So let's start with something a bit further away from the final thoughts of the palette, but still related to the Arttitude Cosmetics. First of all, I've been looking at the website and on them for quite a while. I wanted the Urban Neutrals, I think they're called, and I've been looking at Urban Neutrals for quite a while until they actually ran out of stock with that. So then I've been looking at the other palette that came out last year as well, but I never really had a courage to tap the button to check out. So I even collected things into the cart, but for some reason something was stopping me from checking them out, and I'm not sure what exactly it was. Maybe I was just not fully drawn into the color stories that they create, even though some of the palettes were really interesting. But at some point you just lose track, you find something else, and you can lose the checkout button. So I'm very thankful for Rooks and for the Arttitude Cosmetics to reaching out to me, sending me some of the stuff in PR. I also got, besides Moonlight Muse, I got the Vintage Neutrals, so I can touch them a bit, and I got the Man Eater palette. You can see that the theme of cutouts on the packaging is quite consistent. So here we have cutouts and some shiny words. Here we have a cutout as well. This is a cat wife, as I call her, the Man Eater palette, but Man Eater is only associated with Nelly Furtado for me. And here we have a tiger lady. And this palette is like a jungle adventure. But yes, this is how it looks. I'm not sure if there are any special shades. Maybe you have a duochrome here. Yeah, you have a couple duochromes, but I did not touch anything yet. I only just set this week to be with Moonlight Muse, but maybe I'm not sure if I will get enough time to like go through, but I'm still very thankful, and this is like a collection piece right now for me. I'm not sure if it will be kept. It might also be sold out at some point and not restocked, but this is the first one. Then vintage neutrals. I have a bit of a beef with vintage neutrals because the place where we are living was built in 70s, and we had to get rid of a lot of yellow wallpaper. I don't like the yellow wallpaper. It reminds me of the asylum. Not that I've been in an asylum, but you know the vibe. So this is the vintage neutrals, and we have the palette itself. Flip things over. And this is the palette. I think it looks actually really pretty, and it's more of a pastel shades, like less saturated probably, but it's kind of a cute little palette. I like the designs here. I like the layout. It's very light, by the way. Not sure why, but it's very light. And I'm also not sure if this one is magnetic. But vintage neutrals and man eater are two additional palettes I got. And the star of the show is the Moonlight Muse. As you can see, the packaging also with a cutout, and looks really good, and I think it just works really nicely for them. I guess they had rebranding, the new logo, the stuff, the colors, etc. So some of the older palettes you can get on discount already, on quite a big discount. So I've been also added into the affiliate program. If you're interested in that, I have a code with them. I'm not sure if it will do anything for me because usually I don't care much about selling stuff. I'm just showing things that I like or not and telling about that. This was supposed to be a secret palette until, in this case, launch date is 30th January, but on 27th it was revealed, and I also posted a short about that. And here we have the Moonlight Muse, a bit of a promo campaign, let's say. Moonlight Muse is an ode to every phase of you. You're not meant to shine the same every night. Allow yourself to ebb, shift, and return, just like the moon with its phases. So I like the message behind this. I like the design of everything. I like how a lot of information is given here. So you have the pigments and you have the eyeshadow marked in a specific way. You have the total 16 shades, 32 grams. You have the eyeshadow ingredients here as well, and that is distributed by Arttitude Cosmetics. My cat is eating something down there. And here we have a palette itself with the nice looking lady. Like, she's beautiful, right? And I love that they added the lavender glow to the moon. And the moon itself is also holographic, and it's like cool to see generally. I would also honestly like if they added the holographic to her eyelids, because you have holographic eyeshadow here. It would be nice, but it's just an additional thing, let's say, but it's still cool to see. Here we have some information duplicated, so not everything from the sleeve is duplicated here, for example, which are pressed pigments, which are eyeshadow, in a different way. So here they're just listed, there they are shown. There is also information about the 32 grams and design, who does the design for them. And the 32 grams means that we have around 2 grams per refill, which is quite a lot in this world of shrinkflation. As you may have noticed, Odin's Eye, for example, has reduced their palettes and the amount of shade, the amount of pigment, the eyeshadow in the pans, from 1 gram, 1.1 gram to 1.8. Here, as I said, this one is magnetic for sure, so I've been able to take out some shades, so you can carefully just pick them up. They will get out. They are labeled, which is a huge plus as well, and they are, show me the net weight, they are 1.8 grams each, so you can be very happy about this information. You have quite a lot of pigments for your money. So this is the color story, and you have a bit of a motto or slogan here about the moon and her phases, and you have kind of a bit of a weird script, so it's not always clear that the shade Muse says Muse and not Muso because of how it's written. I'm gonna attach the screenshot of the photo that I took. But then we have 8 shimmers and 8 mattes. The color story here is supposed to be like a moonlight related. We have one shade that looks exactly like a moon. This is a holographic base with multi-chrome blobs basically inbuilt into it. So when you mix all together, you get very interesting effects. If you touch a bit more of one or another, you have a holographic base with some specific color effect, let's say. Kind of a cool thing. Then you have this multi-chrome, which I really liked. It goes up to the green, but it's very hard to see in this scenario. I also showed some of it as a finger swatch or just a swatch. We have another duochrome here. We have this one. I think it's also kind of duochroming slightly, but mostly it's just very nice sparkles, more like flaky sparkles, but not exactly super flaky. So you will not have any problems with that. You have the foil, metallic foil kind of shade. You have sparkles themselves, also nice. This three are sparkles in my opinion. I think they're not actually duochroming or anything. There are only two things that I want to say is that you have a couple shades that are very similar to each other. So you don't notice the difference between this and the white itself. So white is actually matte, but it stands right above, like right below the other one that is also white. And you have another white here. So it's a bit confusing when you first open it. I was cut middle sentence because my cat decided that I speak too much and the camera cable is very delicious. So, getting back to the palette. So we have a few things, as I said, the fact that some of the shades are very similar to each other, that the whites are all together somewhat here, and you have two beige kind of colors, because this one is more grayish and this one is more beige in general. I understand the idea of having two cooler tone purples to go with the gray and two warmer tones that go with the beige. So there are true neutrals, so beige is true neutral. The brown is also true neutral. You can see it on me. On warmer undertones, it's obviously going to be cooler, but on me, it's more of a neutral one. Very appreciate such kind of shades. The white is super pigmented. I like the white. When you apply it with a brush, especially with natural bristle brush, you may scratch the surface and it will start like getting the dust of eyeshadow all over the pan. You have to be aware of that. I like the formula of mattes. It's very simple to work with. It's like super blendable. It's very easy to go into the graphic or into the actual blending. It's like both are nice. And I like the stability of the formula of shimmers. They're not oily. They're applying normally with finger or brush or silicone brush. So you have choices of application basically. Of course, with a silicone brush, for example, or a finger, you have like a more packed application. With the flat brush you have less packed application, but in any case it's working, so I'm pretty happy about that. And yeah, the fact that they're not oily is just so nice. So even though I have questions to the color story a bit, I find it quite nice, and I feel like they have more neutrals here and you can have more of an everyday usage kind of palette with some special shades rather than something very like super colorful and stuff like that. And they are magnetic, which also affects the price, but it's also nice to have. Maybe you want to get only the quad out of them and put it into the smaller palette and take it with you. So that's a possibility. I think sometimes it's nice, but sometimes not. Not everybody needs magnetic palettes as well. But that's up to you to decide. For me, I think it's great, even though I don't use it. It's just the possibility for me to kind of create my own palette later if I would do so. But yeah, you have a couple multichromes, couple duochromes, you have holographic, you have all of the fancy kind of special shades in here, and I did enjoy how all of that works. So it's simpler. At first when I looked at it, it was not like catching me completely, but when I worked through that, I understood the nicest, so the versatility kind of, and how soft they are. So they're really soft shades. They also say that it's talc free, and it's not said it's vegan or cruelty free here on the packaging, so if that's important to you, I think you better contact the brand about that. Yeah, and it also says that some pigments contain the non-approved by FDA things, but we know that it's just some ruling basically of FDA versus Europe. In Europe it's totally fine and safe. So this is the palette, and I think it's a very good working horse if you are into this color story, if you like the purples and the neutrals, if you maybe got interested in some shades from this palette, it's actually prettier in person than it is on promo photos or anything that you may see online, basically. So as I said, to me, when I first opened it, I was like, okay, and then I worked through and I kind of understand the quality and everything related to it. This brand right now, judging by the first palette, of course, which is like first impression kind of thing, but this is what Odin's Eye was supposed to be. Not in terms of the color stories, but in terms of the quality. The quality here is really good. It's not like exceptional crazy, but it's really good and it's stable, which is most important sometimes. So yeah, I really like the palette. I really enjoyed working with it. I would definitely recommend if you want some, so it's up for you to decide if you want it or not. I am really happy with everything. Let's have a look on all of the makeup looks as well that I've created with it, and in the meantime I'm opening the pricing for this palette. So launching 30th January at 5 p.m. UK time. Basically it's 6 p.m. Germany, and you may calculate in your time zone what it is. RRP £45, approximately $62, 52 euros, 89 Australian dollars, 85 Canadian dollars. So the price is a bit higher, which is also kind of understandable because you have some special shades in here, you have magnetic pans, so the price is clearly going up. But with the discount, either from the brand itself, you may find some codes and stuff. You can use my code if you want to. If you don't want, you can search for anything else. The sales part was never really important to me personally. I'm not a sales representative. I just want to share the stuff that I like or I don't like. Sometimes this also happens. So yeah, for the price of 52 euros, I think it's a bit of a stretch. I would prefer it with a discount, but even smaller discount will already justify this for me. And if you can get it even cheaper on some other sales or stuff like that, I think there should be a couple sales throughout the year where you can grab the stuff for the nicer price in general. At least that's what I'm planning to do in the future. I am so over buying the launches on the launch in order to review it. I would much prefer to work with whatever I have right now and maybe snag a couple of things here and there with a discount, and yeah, just try to make it work this way, because I've spent tons last year and I'm just shocked at the amount. I don't want to get myself into the grave of spending, and like, I think you understand what I mean. So in any case, I would be happy to hear your thoughts about everything, about the palette, about the launch, about my makeup looks, about the stuff you see or you want to tell me, if you're going to grab it or not, if you're interested in the brand, etc, etc, anything basically that comes to your mind. So I will be happy to get this information in the comments. So thank you so much for staying with me till the end, for watching this video. It's always a pleasure to have some work done for you and for myself as well. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. That's really important for YouTube, as I said, and I'm hoping to see you really soon in the new video. Until then, bye.